Are you part of a nonprofit organization, a youth group looking to raise cash for your cause? Stay tuned at the end of this video to learn how you can bring the action and excitement of the Millennium Wrestling Federation to your town live, featuring the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Boston on Friday, March 30th. It's WWE Live on the road to WrestleMania. For the first time ever at TD Garden, Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, and Kane in a Universal Championship triple threat match. And
here comes the big dog!
Roman Reigns looks to silence Elias in an epic battle. Plus, Seth Rollins and Finn Balor collide one-on-one. It's the WWE Live Road to WrestleMania tour in Boston, Friday, March 30th. Tickets and VIP packages are available.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans from around the corner, around the world, welcome to another installment of Wrestling Insiders. I'm Dan Maurice.
And I am John Cena, your host.
The host. Wrestling fans, before we get to the news going on in the King of Sports Professional Wrestling, let's check out what's going on here in the Millennium Wrestling Federation. Are you headed to WrestleMania 34 this weekend for the third consecutive year? The Millennium Wrestling Federation will be part of the WrestleCon convention that takes place WrestleMania weekend, Friday, April the 6th. Through Sunday, April the 8th. John Cena Sr. will be joining us, along with the man that was part of the main event of the very first WrestleMania, Cowboy Bob Orton, along with an individual that held a variety of championships in WWE, a man that's badass to the bone. We're talking about Hardcore Holly. Rounding out our group, a true Professional Wrestling Hall of Famer, the patriarch of the legendary Hennig family, Larry the Axe Hennig himself, making an extremely, extremely rare appearance. Between now and March 1st, we have special discount prices on individual tickets and VIP packages. Get yourself a free WWE t-shirt and Bruce Pritchard Something to Wrestle With drink koozie. Fans that pick up the VIP package itself will also be entered into a free daily merchandise giveaway as our thanks to you. If you can't make it to NOLA, you can still help our efforts, bringing you great video content. Order an autographed photo or two using our mail order option. Head on over to the BostonWrestling.com super site today to help support independent wrestling. All right, Johnny, the countdown is on. We're just days away. The women in New Orleans, they said they're not going to be throwing beads at you. They're going to be throwing panties.
Whoa! Whoa, as Ric Flair would say. Oh, boy, okay.
Keep him off of Bourbon Street.
Wow, here I come, brother. Let me tell you, get that pole ball sandwich and the beignets and chicory coffee. Oh, I'll be looking for that.
Johnny, any suggestions for me as someone that hasn't really had, I was in New Orleans once, but I was in and out in a day. I really didn't have a time to see the city and any of the cuisine. What would you suggest?
I suggest taking in and enjoying New Orleans. New Orleans is full of culture. It's full of happy people. You know, I spend a lot of time down there on the side streets and some of the smaller restaurants. I happen to be a cigar smoker.
You love your cigars.
I like cigars. If anybody's got any they want to send to me, I'm more than happy to try them out
Free
and give me a
cigars?
shot. Oh, always. And when I was down there, there's a real good cigar shop down there. They have a table with 8 rollers making these cigars, just outstanding. And then always go and get your beignets and chicory coffee. I have to tell you something. There's nothing like that to start your day, or if you're looking for something to spice you up. Plenty of poor boy restaurants down there where you can get a great sandwich. There are some excellent restaurants. And if you just want to take a ride up the Mississippi, you can even get on a steamboat and take a ride.
So, you know, maybe when we're down there, we'll have to do a couple of videos if we head down on maybe the Thursday night, but we'll have a little bit of time.
Well, I'm coming in at 7 o'clock on Thursday.
I don't remember.
I do. Yeah, and the guy that booked me out is booking me out, so I get back in Massachusetts on Saturday night or Saturday morning for 1 a.m. in the morning. I will never forgive him for that. But anyway.
For someone that is very choosy about his direct flights.
It was better than
and
going.
It's very limited.
Sunday morning, you did me a favor. I'm not.
All right, all right.
I am very happy.
I don't want any heat, brother.
I know heat. No.
And we'll be going to go see our good friend Bruce Pritchard.
Let me tell you, I am so excited. I'm glad that we're going to be back there doing some stuff with Bruce, but I would have just loved to see the show. I was so impressed at the House of Blues with that show, with the different face masks and the talk that went on, the reality of what Bruce and his partner presented.
So much fun.
I enjoyed myself, and you know what? I don't know what he needs or what he wants, but all Bruce has to ask, I'd be more than honored to do anything I can for Bruce Pritchard, a true friend, a true professional.
Well, you never know what surprises may be going on there. That's the best part about his shows, a lot of surprises.
Well, if they use me, I'm sure there'd be a lot of booze.
No.
But, well,
No, that was me. You got the pop in Boston.
Well, what happens in New Orleans?
We'll have to wait and see. All right, Johnny, we head over to the fan board, MWF Project X on Twitter, 47,000 crazy fans. Susan Masley of Palm Bay, Florida, wanted to know, what are you laughing at? What you thought?
Susan who?
Susan Masley.
Masley of where?
Palm Bay, Florida.
Mm-hmm. All righty.
It's a nice city from what I'm
Oh,
told.
yeah. And so, Susan, a nice woman?
Well, I don't know about that.
You don't know?
That's a
Okay,
different
yeah,
story
all
for a
right,
different
yeah.
time. We got great fans.
She
though.
cashed your check. All right.
What do you think, Johnny, of the atrocity that took place, in my opinion, this past Monday night on WWE Raw? The Ultimate Deletion match from the Hardy compound in North Carolina, when you think they couldn't piss on Bray Wyatt anymore, they find a new way for poor Bray to sink even further for a main event character that's so valuable to them and so beloved by the fans, even though he's portrayed as a villain. I have some strong feelings on that, but Susan wanted to know what you think.
Well, you're the only one that can give your thoughts on that because I didn't see it.
You didn't see it, Johnny?
I didn't watch Raw.
Oh, Johnny, what you missed.
No, well, first of all, let me put it to you this way. I don't know how Vince McMahon feels about the broken Matt Hardy, how he feels about, and I understand you told me that Matt saw our thing and said we should be deleted.
You and I should be deleted.
I'm honored by that.
Funny.
I've worked several
and
times.
Again, I'm going to say it again, Johnny, just not to interrupt you, but thoughts about Woken Matt Hardy have nothing to do with Matt Hardy, the human being. It's like not liking a character in a movie. That's what we're discussing.
Well, here's the deal. That whole deal, regardless of what people want to believe or not, have you ever seen Mad Max?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's where Woken Matt Hardy comes from. Take a look at the characters in Mad Max.
I don't understand Woken Matt, but
well, I don't either. I don't like it.
I hate it.
I think
I hate it.
You know what? If it is a success in WWE, hooray for Matt. If it's not, and I choose to believe that it will be like, what's the word I want to use? Milk, I guess. It will sour very quickly.
it already has.
You've taken one of, and I didn't see it, so I'm not going to comment, but I'll tell you what, the first time I was backstage and I had the opportunity to meet Bray Wyatt, I made the comment that I thought he had one of the greatest gimmicks, new gimmicks, in WWE, and it should go a long way. They've beaten the living stuffing out of this kid, and they've just stripped his character. And I don't know what happened. You have to fill in there because I didn't watch it, so be my guest.
Well, what I'll say about this, Johnny, is I wish you'd maybe go on YouTube and check it out for a few minutes. It was a science fiction movie gone mad. And is there a place for that somewhere out there? Sure. Does it belong on a professional wrestling show? Absolutely not. It's an insult to everything and everyone else.
Was that at the compound?
Yeah.
And what did they do to Bray?
They had pyrotechnics going off. They ran around a graveyard where they did these cut edits and they were vanishing and disappearing. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen. I was embarrassed to watch it.
Well, knowing Vince McMahon.
I was embarrassed. And I'll tell you this, I'm not the, we're going to have to fix that.
That's a fallen WWE belt.
It's just like Bray Wyatt's over the past year. It's done.
That's not good.
But I'm not the world's biggest. Michael Cole is an announcer fan. Nothing against the human being.
No, he's a great guy.
Is a lead-in to Ultimate Deletion. You know what he said? We're embarrassed to be presenting this to you, so I'm going to guess someone in the higher-ups, maybe with the initials VKM, was not the biggest fan of Ultimate Deletion.
I can only say this. I have
It
not
was
seen
awful.
it. I did not see it. I do not choose to see it.
And-
my whole thing is this. I don't think Vince is 100% behind it.
And, it ended with they threw Bray Wyatt in the lake, and he was supposed to die. And
So now we have the new Undertaker. Baloney.
And then there's rumors online that say he's going to be repackaged. I don't know. I've talked to a
Who,
lot of
Bray Wyatt?
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people that didn't have anything to say about that would be in the know this week. But I hope they're not going to repackage Bray Wyatt. I think the best thing that could happen to Bray Wyatt right now is just give him a break, because it's been a long year for Bray Wyatt and not a good one.
Well, they've dumped all over him. They've destroyed a great character. They've destroyed it.
Let's break that down. And I am a Bray Wyatt fan, too. I don't understand what's gone on the past year for a guy that's got so much going for him. Now, I'm sure the paychecks have been very nice. WWE takes great care of their top talent. Bray Wyatt is certainly a top-tier talent.
No question about that.
The fans love him, even for a villain. You know, the diehards that love the Bray Wyatt shirts, they love to take out the cell phones during the entrance. I'm sure if he was going to compete at WrestleMania, which it doesn't look like is going to happen, I mean, you're talking about the Superdome would be glowing if you could fly.
So I'm not going. He's
over.
not competing.
You're not seeing to see Bray? All right, there you go. I am a huge advocate of Bray Wyatt. I think there's so much that you, even more than me. Johnny, this past year, let's look at it. He won the championship at Elimination Chamber last year, which was a coup for him. It was his first world title. He held on to it for about a month until he lost it to Randy Orton in what had to have been one of the most disappointing matches in WrestleMania history. They had lights that were supposedly adding these special effects to the ring with snakes, and Randy Orton was supposed to be selling that he was actually scared of the light that was on the mat. It was campy, and it was bad.
Like broken.
It didn't go over. The next month on pay-per-view, on a Raw pay-per-view, they wanted to add a little spice to it. They added a SmackDown match for the title. I don't even know if it was a title match, but it was the Haunted House match. Did you see that one?
Sorry.
Awful.
Sorry.
Then Bray transitioned into a feud with Finn Balor that went nowhere. It was supposed to be the mind games between the Demon and Bray, and they dressed up Bray Wyatt as the sister, as a woman, on Raw. Awful. And they weren't even able to have the blow-off to the match because Bray Wyatt and his brother and his girlfriend took ill. And then he came back from the illness, and he was put into this horrendous program with Matt Hardy that went absolutely nowhere, too. What I hope has culminated with one of the worst segments in the history of professional wrestling. And now the future of Bray is unknown. I have a feeling we're going to see more Woken Matt, but hopefully in a lot of moderation.
I understand that the...
Because I want to sleep. I don't want to be woken.
Well, I understand that it was well received by the fans. Am I correct in that?
The diehard fans on social media absolutely loved it. People that enjoy actual professional wrestling
said no.
Thought it was an atrocity, like I did.
I would agree with that. I would think that the man's initials that you mentioned, VKM, might think the same thing. Now, the other guy that's behind there with the initials HHH, I wonder what he thought.
It was an embarrassment.
Well,
and you know what? Here's the thing, and I always want to state this to the fans. I want everybody to do good. You know that. I want everybody to draw well. I want everybody to make money. I want to see new jobs created. I want to see new promotions created. But something like that to appease what I'll call diehard fans on social media, it's just the minority compared to the whole fan base. And especially, you know, I could maybe see it at a different time of the year, but you're talking about one of the last Raws before WrestleMania for two guys that aren't even on the show.
Do you think they did that just to see, in other words, I'm going to test. Do you think it's so great? You know what? You can create this wrestling group, NXT, and make it work? Well, go ahead. Let me see if I'll flat on your butt. Do you excuse me. Do you think it's a case of they let that thing go through?
Johnny.
Just to do that?
If they, you know, again, you want to try something new, and you really are adamant about it, and I work there, say I'm in that booking room, I'd roll my eyes, and what are you going to say at the end of the day if that's the final decision? I wouldn't have done it right before WrestleMania. What a waste of valuable television time.
Somebody had to approve it.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm going to say.
But in the history of Raw, in the history of WWE television, I have never seen a segment presented where they shit on it before they aired it, saying we're embarrassed to present this to you.
Well, then you know what? It is what it is. The statement was made. So the real thing is, and I'm still going to say it, I think the world of Matt Hardy. I've worked with him several times. And the professional wrestler. I've worked with him as a professional. I was in the ring with him. He even looked at me when we were in the ring and said, "You're going to take a twist of fate." I said, "Bull, I am not." But he's a great guy, great human being. And
I'll say this, Woken Matt Hardy is great for him. It's reinvented him.
It's a character
and
out of Mad Max.
I hope he makes a lot of money doing it. I hope he's successful doing it. I just don't personally like it. And I don't think that makes me a bad human being.
I don't think so either, and I guess now it's a test of time. I think like good milk, it will sour. People will get tired.
You have to talk to Quincy about the milk, but that's
I'm not even going to talk to Quincy. Nope. Bananas and milk. Nope.
All right, Johnny, before we go, what can we do with Bray Wyatt to bring him back and give him the status that he deserves in WWE? A great main event talent. What can we do with him? I think his promos have become a little tedious over time, to be honest with you. It always feels like he's saying the same thing. But again, you're talking about a first-class main event talent for years and years to come that's been, like for the past year, pissed on. What can we do to bring him back where he needs to be? Does he need a little rest, the character itself, from television?
I don't think so.
You'd bring him back soon?
I would, and I think...
Even though he fell into Matt Hardy's lake and died?
But you see, we can take that storyline and make this work.
All right, what are we going to do? I want to hear it. What are we going to do?
I think he needs a manager like me. Evil manager, like Paul Bearer was. Maybe
Grandpa Wyatt, maybe?
No. I just think that even though he supposedly has died in the lake, they've killed his character off. You know, you could do this thing where he's in the morgue and all of a sudden the body...
you see, you're going too far now.
Yeah, but wait a minute. You could do all kinds of stuff with this. The spirit of the water. You know, there's all kinds... If they're going to stick with this Woken baloney, there's all kinds of things you could do with Wyatt. You know, you could never keep The Undertaker down. So maybe we have a new Undertaker. You can't recreate an Undertaker, but you can repackage a character. When they split up the Wyatt family, when they never really brought back a real Sister Abigail, and they should have done that.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that was the beginning of the end. Wyatt could come back, but if you're going to let him come back, you've got to let him be a Kevin Sullivan, not evil, devil-worshipping individual, the guy that's going to destroy the world.
Would you make Bray Wyatt even more evil when he comes
absolutely.
back? You think that's the way to get him back?
Oh, yeah. Yep. In other words, when Bray Wyatt does come back, he should have come back, and there should be hell, fire, and brimstone. And he said, I've been through hell and back, and I brought hell with me. And then you just, that's my line. If you use it, I'm going to sue. But that's just the way to do it. To me, I don't think you want to finish this man off.
No, I mean, he's a young guy.
Not even because he's young, because the potential to have a successful character was there, and why in God's earth did these writers destroy him? What did he ever do?
And it's not like it was one match or one storyline. It's been
bang,
a
bang,
year.
bang, bang, bang.
And I'm sure he's making good money because he's working on top. But, I mean, for the people
that say... So is Kat Lopez from Palm Beach, Florida.
No, Susan Masley.
She's working on top? Oh.
I don't know if Susan Masley's worked on top for quite some time, but that's a different story for a different time.
Anyway, my whole thing is very simple. You can't take this person and end it.
There is too much talent in that man's body.
I said it when I first met him. I'll stand on the premise of what I know as a humble mark. And we're all marks. Everybody in that business is a mark. As Pat Patton said to me, if we were not marks, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing today.
All right. Well, hopefully there are going to be better days ahead for Bray Wyatt. Hopefully there'll be better days ahead for us, Johnny. We got some exciting times coming up. WrestleCon, WrestleMania weekend. Not one, but two big episodes of Memories and Legends with Mr. USA, the Hall of Famer Tony Atlas, WrestleMania weekend. I think I said that twice. Whatever.
You did.
The Patreon is coming up for fans to access the old classic DVDs of the MWF and our great studio shoots. It's a happening time. For the fabulous one, John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Marotti. We'll see you in New Orleans. Be well.
You think you know your favorite superstar? Did you know about Sasha's favorite cousin? What about AJ's tattoos? Chris Jericho's expensive taste? No. You need the book that has everything you want to know about more than 200 of your favorite WWE superstars. It's the WWE Ultimate Superstar Guide.